Okay, guys, we're back out in the garage, and well, as it turns out, with the JAWA here, the JAWA 350, we have to actually dig into it a little bit deeper. I was working on the gear shifting problem, trying to get it into fourth gear, so did a little research online. It seems that most of these engines, the issue is with the shift forks. So, bought the shift forks and we took it apart. As it turns out, well, it doesn't seem like it was the shift forks. I think it's something else. I think it might be the dogs that when you ratchet it, uh, you know, uh, uh, engage the shift plate, and that all of that is underneath the primary side of the engine. So as you can see, we've got the primary side cover off, which in this case is the left side of the engine, and we've got the primary chain here and the clutch basket, etc. Now, what I need to do, I've already used a puller to release release this gear, which was really on there tight. Luckily it's got a groove right on it here. Uh, Really hard to get off, but luckily I had the right tool for that, so no issue. This, on the other hand, the clutch basket, as you'll see, it has little keepers there. These little little keepers that are holding the springs down. There's a washer there, and then the springs underneath for the clutch. There's three of them, and they are on there like they are really hard to compress. Like, I mean, really. I was using all my strength, and then after that all my weight to push down on them, and I was barely making any headway. And I could see that even if I got them out, which might have been possible getting them out, I'd never get them back in again. So I, just was to actually hold them down and get the thing slid in there, I don't think I'd ever do that. So need to devise a way to do that. I have no idea what they did back in the day, but I made this little jig, which frankly isn't made very well. But what I did, I've got a nut, welded to the top of this plate, and then drilled some holes that line up, roughly speaking, with the case here, which are these are M8 bolts, metric M8 bolts. So they're threaded way down in here. And then what I did is I took an 11 millimeter socket. Now I think a 10 might have done as well, but I wanted it to be as wide as possible to allow for this keeper. And I sacrificed it. I took an angle grinder, and as you can see there, on both sides I have, that's not focusing very well, but I think you can see that. Maybe I'll try the other side here. I went and used an angle grinder to cut a channel out of the top of that so I can actually get the keepers in and out. And as it turns out, it looks like it's going to work really well. So anyways, that's the process here. Once we get this off, then I believe there's a mounting nut at the bottom of this. I think we'll find out. But that whole assembly needs to come off so that we can get down into here, into this area of the engine underneath the ratchet. For the ratchet, this sort of half gear, which actually is what starts the engine. When the thing's turned backwards, this is what is used to start the engine. Obviously, in the gear shift position, it shifts gears. So anyways, all of this has got to come out so that we can get underneath this and look at the shift plate. And like I said, I think the dogs that engage that shift plate, that move the shift plate back and forth, I suspect that might be the issue. I don't know. I suspected it was a shift forks, and I was wrong on that too. So we're just going to keep continuing to rip this apart until we try to figure out what's wrong. Hopefully it all goes back together again in the end. But anyways, so that's where we're at. Okay, guys, so we're gonna sort of try to do the process here and get get this keeper out of here. The keeper is down in here, and we're gonna try to ratchet this thing down and get it out. So this is how this thing works. I think we just about have it there. Let's just see, and you know what? There it is. There is our keeper. So that's cool. So we're going to save that, obviously. And now on to the next one. We need to do this 3 times. Now we need to take this thing off. With a little bit of a process, not too bad. Just got to loosen her up here. And actually, I thought it'll work. We'll just keep going with this. So as you can see, not a terribly fast process, but you know what? It's gonna work. See how compressed that spring was, eh? Pretty crazy. So yeah, we're gonna get that to come up even more here. This is probably a little more efficient doing it this way. All right, there we go. So that's that one. Now there is the keeper's washer. Okay. And in there is our clutch spring. All right. Okay, so I'm dropping them, in case you're curious, into a little magnetic parts container here. So I'm not being too casual with them. Sounds like it, but just showing you that so you can see them. So now we're going to turn it and get to the next one here. Try to get her as lined up as we can, I guess. Something like that. What do you think? Does that seem pretty good? I think so. Get this turned down again. I guess I could have used some shorter rod, eh? But this is probably a one, you know, this tool's not going to get used a lot, so you get used to taking the thing apart and put it back together again, and probably never again. So I didn't want to get too carried away. So, not the one. Okay. Yeah. This wrench reverses and this one doesn't, so I got to put it on the right way. What are we doing there? Well, it's coming. It's definitely compressing it. All right, and there is our second keeper. Oh, this is working well. I'm happy with this. All right, let's loosen this thing off again and go to number 3. I have no idea how they did this back in the day. No clue. I've seen some people online doing it, and not many. There's so few videos on these things. That's what's so hard about it, frankly, or not a lot of great information. But you know, it's most of the people I've seen do it just do it with their, you know, with a screwdriver or something and just push on it. But I mean, my God, I don't consider myself ridiculously weak, but there was no way I could do that. It just wasn't happening. So this seems a more civilized way and less likely to lose anything too. You know, it just comes out nice and easy. There's keeper number 3, our last one. This is awesome. This thing actually gave me a few sleepless nights, to be honest with you. Because if you can't get at the problem, you can't fix it, right? So, well, sleepless nights is overstretching it, but definitely gave me pause for thought. Let's put it that way. That was a little more efficient. You know, as you get through this, after you do 3 of them, you get better. So, let's be getting close to where we can do this by finger, I would think. Come on. How are we doing here? Oh, man, this one's still a bit tight, but had a little bit of a hard time getting any, well, I shouldn't say a hard time, but more effort than you would think. You know, I didn't realize it, but your usual building supply places, they always have threaded rods, so I just assumed, you know, I'd go down there and buy some, right? Some ready bar. But no. They only carry standard SAE, both Home Depot and Rona. Now that might be different in the States, wherever you are, but here, standard stuff, that was it. So I had to go elsewhere to get it. So 3 stores later, we got what we needed. So we just unscrew these now. pretty much have the job done. So that keeper there, which we don't want to lose. Yeah, we might have to put another, this one might be a little more challenging. I'm going to put another nut on this one to get it out. So, this is where you curse yourself. But you know, I hate, you know, just cutting stuff up if you don't have to, you know, because there's always another project or another job. Keeping them a little bit longer here takes me a moment, but then, you know, down the road, if I need some M8, you know, ready rod or ready bar, whatever we want to call it, I'll have it somewhere, probably lost out in the workshop, and just go buy more. that's usually how these things work. So there we go. And let me show you this this gizmo now that it's off of here. So there we go. That's what we made up, and as you can see, this is an 11 millimeter. Boy, I did a terrible angle grinder job on that, ruining that 11 millimeter socket, eh? But I did it nice and wide there so I could get, you know, I didn't know how hard it would be. I wanted it wide enough that if I needed to, I could get a pair of needle nose pliers in there or something, small ones. But yeah, that's what I did. Seems to have worked. Really bad welding job on there. I'm trying to learn to weld, and I'm just absolutely terrible at it, but got her done, right? That's the main deal. Yeah, so Craftsman 11 millimeter. Now Craftsman, of course, their tools are guaranteed forever. So what do you think? I'll just take her back, right? Should I just take that thing back? Say, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. There seems to be a problem. I think that's what we'll do. So, okay, enough of that. Here is the keeper for this one, which was, with all my talking, just sitting there randomly. Don't want to lose this. That's all I got. So there's that, and there's the clutch spring, and yeah, those are crazy tough springs, man. Okay, cool, and now we're going to be into taking this off and apart. So, okay. Oh, jumping doodles. We're losing stuff already. Okay, there's little baskets here that go in there by the looks of it. Like that. Okay, interesting. Grabbing the pliers here, just going to get that out of there. Okay, all right. So that was like that, I think. And this was like this. Yeah, that's how that was. All right, so we know how to put that together again. That's good. And then we've got our clutch plates here. I have to say, they don't look too bad to me. So we have a fibrous plate, then we have a metal plate, then a fibrous plate, fibrous plate, metal plate, etc. through here. And those actually have lots of meat on them, I think. So, yeah. Okay, and they just go on like that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm going to pause the video right now, grab another coffee, maybe put on some gloves because I'm starting to get, you know, greasy now that I'm into it here. And we're going to take this apart, lay the parts out somewhere in some sort of, you know, meaningful order. And then, like I said before, the goal here is going to be to take this off and this off all at the same time. I've got this loose. I just got the nut on there for now, but this is loose. So we need to get this off. Yeah, oh, and this is our clutch. Well, that's our clutch push rod. Okay, cool. There's another push rod that goes in from the other side as well, and that's what pushes on this, pushes on the plate there to engage or disengage the clutch. So interesting. But yeah, don't think we need to buy clutch plates. At least we'll go through them all and look at them each individually, but that actually looks, I think somebody's been in this before. How much do you want to bet they're trying to fix the same problem I'm trying to fix? How much do you want to bet? Yeah. Okay, gonna pause her, get a coffee, and we'll carry on. Alrighty, okay, well, we grabbed the coffee, we're back at it here. So what we're gonna do now is I was gonna go and actually pull the plates and stuff out of here, which we will do at some point, but I think when I look at this, I think we can just actually zoom this nut off and just pull the whole thing off as an assembly, which I think is what I want to do. So There's down inside here, there's a washer, and it has the edge just curled over, so you can't move the nut back. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull this clutch, what do you call it, clutch release pin? I guess that's what we'll call it. Take that out and then pound this side of the washer back. I hope that's good enough for us to get this off. We're going to find out. What I'm going to do, this is a 19 mil. Let's just see if that fits on there nice now. Yeah, it fits on there nice. I'm pretty sure this will come off. So we've got the little impact driver here, and rightly or wrongly, we're going to give her a go. So that was fairly simple. Good. Guess I got that washer good enough. It is kind of mangled. If I can get it out of there. I'll grab a magnet. Here's a little trick. I don't know if anybody else does this, but these little, I think nimidium, no, I've got that name wrong, I'm sure, magnets. Sometimes you just want to grab something and you want something small. You've got, I know I've got other magnets, but you know, something like this. Oh, gee whiz, gosh, that works too well. Put that a little higher. Oh my gosh, these nimidium magnets. Okay, we'll put it higher up the shaft and then we'll go like this. Come on, baby, come on out of there. Okay, maybe this is not a great demonstration. That must be, everything else is metal, so it's not working that great here. Let's try something different. Oh, you know what? I just realized, you guys are probably yelling at the video screen right now. Why worry about it? Let's just pick it up. We'll get it out that way. So this should just come off now. Yeah, it is coming. And this should come with it. Oh, you know what? Might help if I take the nut off. I put that on there just to keep it. Let's take that off, take this off. Ta-da! Hey, look at that. Okay, there's our washer in there. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, cool. All right, let's set this over here carefully. Okay, cool. That's good. I'll put this back on. Let's put that back on here. That's the wrong one. Put this back on here. Part of the deal with this stuff is try not to lose stuff, as you're going through it. Try not to lose stuff. Try not to get mixed up. Don't get in too big of a hurry. I've made all of those mistakes in the past, and yeah, it's never good. Okay, so when I took this case off, this literally just came out of here. Wow, that's under a lot of attention. That was under a lot of tension. Okay. It's going to be exciting to get that back in. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, now we're getting closer to the point of where I'm thinking the issue may be with these dogs right down in here. So let me grab the camera and show you what I'm talking about. Just be half a moment. Okay, so now that we've released the clutch basket and the primary gear and chain, we can now see in here a little bit better. And as you can see, here we've got I think it's called the clutch gate or plate here. We can actually see the bottom of one of the shift forks. That little knob there is one of the shift forks that's engaged from the other side. And these here are the dogs. There's one here, and one here. And this is what, when you ratchet this thing back and forth, is what moves the clutch plate. So I think we need to take all of that out and take a look at it and see if there's wear on there, to see why it's not operating the way it ought to be. So that's going to be the next step. Okay, so to get that shift plate out from the other side, I believe we're first going to have to take the gears out. So we're going to do that from this side, at least get them away from the, you know, from the shift plate. So I'm pretty sure we have to do that. I want a little look on this side just to see if that theory is accurate. You know, now that I look at it, I think the key thing is we just have to get the shift forks out, because that's really all that is, you know, that's really attached to this is the shift forks. So the way we do that, like we did before when we were putting it together, is we first pull this pin out. So I'm going to grab my trusty deal here so I don't lose anything. So that's that pin I'm going to set there, set it here. And then we start taking gears out. So so that goes in obviously last on this side, and then we have this which goes into that shift fork. We'll just reassemble it as we go here. Bottom shift fork comes out, bottom gear goes on like that. Okay, there's our bottom shift fork. Come on over there, guy. Come on out. Okay, we're just going to set that aside. Alright, there's our brand new shift fork that we put in there. We're now taking out. Okay, so now we have the other shift fork to take out, and to do that we just lift this up. So there we go, other shift fork out. Okay, good. So that is everything out of there. The thing is, when we turn this over now, these guys are going to want to come out too, are they? Yeah. I'm hesitant to take them out because I really don't want to get things mixed up. This is really obvious, and all I need to do is this. So I think what we're going to do is just pop the case back on top. I mean, I guess there's no reason to be this paranoid, but I am going to just pop this back on here. There we go. And they'll stay in there, and we don't have to worry about it. And I think that's good. We just have to put this side of the gears back in. So this over. Okay, we're okay on this side. Thanks. All right, and now we can get back at our shift gate here to take this out. There are 4 flatheads there. And hopefully they're not too hard to get out. We're going to try just carefully this way first, and then worst case we'll grab our impact, but so far so good on the first one here. Yeah, these aren't in there that bad. So interestingly, there's actually a little they've been hit with a punch to show where they're to be lined up, which is really good. So we'll make note of that when we put these back in. Mind you, now that I think about that, I'd have to get this. To do that, I have to get the screws in the same order, wouldn't I? I sure would. So, okay. Call that number 1. I don't know how critical that is. Probably not very critical. They're not in there tight. 2. 3. And 4. Okay. Looks like I got a bit of gunk in there. And 4. Okay. Let's take our shift plate out. Just put it over here, I think. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, now does this thing look worn? It's got a ball bearing. I don't know if you can see that here. It's got a ball bearing right in there. Let's try this side, right in here. That goes into these indents here. So I guess it takes a fair bit of force to change it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Everything on this thing looks actually in really good shape. It does not look to be a problem. Does not look in bad shape at all. So why is it giving us beans? How come? Is this bent? Apparently sometimes these things get bent. Sure doesn't look bent. Okay, well, I think that's it for this one. We've got everything out, so now it's just a matter of deciding what we're going to do, what parts we're going to order, and putting it back together again, because it is now completely apart. So, yeah, so anyways, thanks for watching this one. Thanks for watching the series. If you could, please like and subscribe. That would be tremendous. You know, I make these videos for two reasons. One, to hopefully help somebody else out, but frankly, also to help myself out. Sometimes it's useful to kind of take a look at it and remind yourself how things are going together. So, anyways, guys, I just do this for fun, and hope everybody's having an amazing Saturday. So, take care, and we'll catch you on the other side. Okay, guys, I've been looking at the engine parts now that we have it all together to try to see where, where there's been wear or where there could be issues that are causing our problem is. And it's not shifting right. It really takes a lot of effort to get it to get into gear, and a lot of times it won't go into certain gears, etc. We did buy new shift forks. We put them in, and it didn't seem to be. I mean, I didn't, put the whole engine back together again, but it didn't seem to be an appreciable difference when I was trying to shift, manually shift. It still seemed to have problems. So we've ripped the whole engine apart more to go and dig right into it. And here we have the cam plate, and here we have one of the dogs that actually engages the cam plate. So when you're shifting, it goes in here, and it pushes here, and then when you're going the other way, it'll push the other way, go backwards. There's two of them, of course. They're kind of at at an angle to each other like this, right? So on this side like this, right? And so these dogs, as you can see the shape of it, has to engage the cam plate and push it. So whether it pushes it this way, and then this one will push it this way. And then they also, because they're angled like this, so that they can slip past the dogs as well. So they can slip past and push them. So maybe not a very good explanation, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. So anyways, I was looking at this one, and I'm trying to focus here and get some decent light. So we'll try to focus and show the profile of this. And it just seemed to me that should be a flat edge on the top, I mean, if you're pushing against this edge, and if we look at this cam plate a little bit better, you'll see those edges are quite flat. And you'll also notice that, we have essentially zero wear that I can tell on this thing. It looks absolutely perfect. So anyways, I looked online, and I think I'm going to order these things here, but you can see what it's supposed to look like. There's one profile of it, and if we take a look at this side profile, you'll see how vertical and upright that is, right? Now let's take a look at the one we've got. Okay, in comparison. So we just kind of orient it the same. See if we can kind of compare here. So I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing, but it's almost a downward slope on this thing. Get into some different lights so you can kind of see it better, remembering what that other here. Let's try to do it on the paper here. Maybe that'll be better. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this dog is our problem. Now, if a person wanted to be cheap, could go out to the workshop and grind a flat edge on that thing, and who knows, she might work. But it's an awful lot of work, putting this whole engine apart and together and in and out of the bike and yada yada. The part is cheap, but of course I'm going to have to send away for it. What are they charging for these things? I think they're like $20 or something, which is more than they're worth. $20.74, and of course I need two of them. So Yeah, I think we're going to do that. And I'm going to also order, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with this cam plate. I mean, it looks pristine to me. It looks perfect. I see zero issues with it that I can tell, and zero wear. But you know what? Because it's so far away and so long and a lot of work, I'm actually going to order one of these too. So we're going to put in a new cam plate. We're going to put in the new dogs, and put it all back together again. And yeah, that should solve our problem. That's the hope. That's the dream. So that's what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be a little while since I post the next video up here because you know it's probably gonna take a couple of weeks to get these parts optimistically. But I think that's what we're gonna do next. Okay, guys, I just was a little disappointed with how that dog was showing up in the previous little snippet there I did. So I'm just going to show you again what these ones look like. So I've got it under a magnifying glass here, and you can kind of see this. That edge, it should be like flat at the top, right? You see how rounded it is on edge. So let's take a look at the other one here so we can see it as well. Yeah, you see what I mean about how rounded those are, eh? And you know, it should be like a completely flat profile across the top, like at right angles to the you know, to the rest of the dog. It should be completely flat, and it is definitely rounded off. Oh, come on, focus for me. There we go. Yeah, it's not wanting to focus going through this, but I think that gives you a little bit of a better view, anyways, as to what's going on here. Is this the problem? I sure hope so. So anyways, guys, yeah, so we'll order those parts and then we're going to pop them back into the bike. We'll video all that, and just hopefully we get this thing back together and should get her running.